You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 10.
A former Oklahoma County jail detention officer behind bars at her old workplace. What she's accused of. Plus, the mayors of Oklahoma's two biggest cities endorsing the idea of open primaries.
You naturally get a better outcome.
The backlash that's sparking among the Republican Party tonight. And a terrifying wake-up call. A man breaks into a family's home in the middle of the night.
I thought that he had a gun or something and he was going to kill us.
And that is where we begin tonight at 10. The terrifying moments unfolding for a Southwest Metro couple just weeks before their first baby is due.
And they say the man who burst into their home was a complete stranger. News 4's John Hayes spoke with the expectant mother. And John, bless her heart, how's she doing tonight?
Kevin and Jolene, as you can imagine, she's very relieved this nightmare is finally over and thankful that herself, her husband, an unborn baby weren't hurt in all of this.
I was having a panic attack. I was hiding and I thought that he had a gun or something and he was going to kill us.
Hilda Salazar says describing that panic doesn't do it enough justice. She wants people to see it. It was just after midnight a few weeks ago her cameras caught this man, later identified as Humberto Rangal Jr.
Yeah, he was a stranger.
You can see him stumble around in her neighbor's yard before sprinting over to her own. Another angle shows the same man walking up to her door before Oklahoma City police say he kicked it in and ran inside. You can see Rangal turn lights on and off again before Salazar says he confronted her and her husband in their bedroom. She says the ordeal sent her into false labor.
I started to have contractions. Thank God my husband was with me, and he started fighting with my husband.
Another angle shows Rangal in the couple's backyard after Salazar says her husband threw him out. You can see him trying to get back in before bailing over this fence.
He heard the police officers. He jumped the fence into the next house.
Police eventually caught Rangal. He's facing burglary and assault charges. Salazar says the door cost a few $100s to fix. They're enhancing their security, and she has a few words of advice for this intruder.
That's not the way to ask for help.
Salazar also tells me she and her husband are expecting their healthy baby boy right after Thanksgiving. She says after so much trauma you saw there, he'll be a very welcome holiday gift.
Wow, and we're also following some breaking news right now in northwest Oklahoma City. Someone was hit and killed near Northwest Expressway in Rockwell. Officials tell us a driver was driving the wrong way when they hit a person crossing the road. We're told that driver is cooperating with the investigation, and we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Now, first weather from the Forewarned Storm Team.
Oklahoma enjoyed a beautiful fall day today. We had a north breeze out there. Cold this morning, but a nice cool afternoon. Lots of sunshine. Let's take a look at our sunset tonight. This is from 50 Penn, looking up Northwest Highway. If you look carefully off to the right, you can see Lake Hefner there in the distance and hardly a ripple on that lake. The wind is near calm tonight. It's going to be a frosty morning ahead. Our morning low temperature was 34 at Will Rogers and 58 degrees our daytime high. We are 45 now in Oklahoma City, already down to 35 in Ponca City, 39 in Enid, and 38 in Stillwater. So most folks will be a little bit colder tomorrow morning compared to this morning. So the drought monitor is in, and with 3 big storms, we've eliminated most of the drought in Oklahoma. That's not really breaking news, but it's great to see. We went from 84% of our state in some form of drought the first of the month to 18% now of part of Oklahoma being in a drought, and that drought is much less severe. It's up here in parts of north central Oklahoma and in southeastern Oklahoma. Everybody else is in really great shape. So these 3 big storms gave us so much moisture. Skies are clear out there tonight, a lot of sunshine, but a frosty start. We're going to track those cold morning lows tomorrow morning, guys. There they are, and that holiday forecast coming up.
All right, Mike, we'll see you then. A former Oklahoma County jail detention officer becomes an inmate at her old workplace. Casey Sloan was taken into custody, accused of bringing contraband into the jail. Jail officials say she was fired back in July after she was arrested for trying to smuggle drugs into a state prison in Pittsburgh County, that's McAllister. When they started investigating further, they found out Sloan had allegedly smuggled synthetic marijuana known as K2 into the Oklahoma County Jail while she was working there. She was arrested and has since bailed out.
Several young girls have come forward saying they were molested over several years by a man who was a board member at their church. 91-year-old Charles Sullivan was arrested November 5th. It was at Shawnee First Church of the Nazarene where he allegedly molested several young girls. He's said to have confessed to police, saying he apologized for it and that he'd forgotten about it all. But when told the girls didn't forget, he said all he can do is say sorry. Johnny Stevens was the pastor at the time who said he knew of 2 victims but never told police.
I just tried my best to watch him.
But you failed.
I don't know that I failed.
4 or 5 girls getting molested by this gentleman?
Did he? Did they? I'm thinking if I had to do it all over again, yeah, I would have probably called the police. But I was trying to redeem him.
No.
That was Sullivan there at the end. He was not willing to speak with us. Another pastor allegedly knew what happened but didn't call police. And court documents say the district superintendent, Terry Rowland, knew but didn't either. We reached out to both but never heard back.
We told you earlier this week about a petition aiming to turn Oklahoma into an open primary state. Right now, you can only vote in a party's primary if you're registered with that party, or an independent. You can vote in the Democratic primary.
Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt and Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum, both Republicans, are supporting the idea. And as News 4's Spencer Humphrey explains, that has some state Republican Party leaders suggesting Holt and Bynum need to leave the party.
I think the evidence bears it out, you naturally get a better outcome.
That was Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt on Flashpoint in September, advocating for something that has the state Republican Party more or less saying he's not one of us. The thing Holt was advocating for was a change to Oklahoma's system of closed partisan primary elections, which he argues cause candidates to pander to the extremes rather than appeal to the majority.
You're appealing, especially today, to a narrower and narrower slice of the electorate. I often say that neither in Oklahoma City or in the country are people actually all that polarized. Maybe the extremes are, 15% at both ends, but there's a 70% of people in the middle who just want to work together and get things done.
It's why this week Holt threw his support behind a ballot initiative proposal to change Oklahoma's primary system to something colloquially called a jungle primary. In a jungle primary, no longer would each party run its own primary ballot, only open to registered party members. Instead, candidates from every party would all appear together on one single ballot with their party affiliation listed by their name. Each voter would vote for just one of them. Then, the top 2 vote-getters, regardless of their party, would face off in the general election. Holt says, save for listing a candidate's party next to their name, that's the same system Oklahoma City and Tulsa use for their mayoral primaries.
And people always look at Oklahoma City and Tulsa and they say, for whatever successes or failures you have, gosh, it sure seems like you're electing mayors that unify people, that seem competent, that are well-liked across the political spectrum.
This week, Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum and Oklahoma Labor Commissioner Leslie Osborne, who, like Holt, are Republicans, also endorsed the initiative. That led Oklahoma State Republican Party Chair Nathan Dahm to send this email to Republican Party members, likening allowing non-Republicans to vote in the Republican primary to allowing an atheist to vote for who becomes the pastor of a church. Dahm urged Republicans to tell Holt, Bynum, and Osborne to switch their affiliation to the Democratic Party.
I do think that that in general this group is pushing this for that reason, though, that they want to move the party to the left by doing this, at least moderate it.
State Republican Party Executive Director Stan Stevens argues if Holt, Bynum, Osborne, or anyone else they support can't win in a closed primary, that's their own problem, not the election system's.
If you get in a Republican primary and you can't beat the other candidate running, then it's just not resonating with the voters.
I don't know why the Republicans would be so opposed, because they're so strong right now.
In fact, UCO political science professor Brett Sharp points out there are many deep red places in Oklahoma where independents and Democrats don't even bother running candidates at all, essentially meaning Republican primary voters are the only ones who get to decide who represents everyone.
I don't think that's healthy.
While it may feel like an uphill battle in this state right now for any candidate left of extremely far right to stand a chance in a Republican primary, he says that's actually a relatively new phenomenon.
People forget that we were a one-party state for, most of that 20th century, and that one party was Democrats.
And he says, while not as easy, there could be another path for those in the middle to get past the primary round without changing a thing.
You start at the local level, start in school boards, start in city councils, get your folks elected, build a party base there, and then move up. That's, I think, one of the key ingredients to the Republican success.
Now, we reached out to Holt, Bynum, and Osborne for comment on the Republican Party more or less pushing to excommunicate them. Holt's office referred us back to his comments on Flashpoint. Bynum's office said no comment. Osborne did not respond.
Next in weather.
Well, it's getting mighty interesting out there, and no, I'm not talking about the big football Saturday, really talking about next week, beginning Thanksgiving Day and just beyond. Arctic air and some moisture nearby. We're going to break that down for you. 11-day forecast coming up next.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 10 with Jolene Cheney, Kevin Ogle, Mike Morgan, and Brian Brinkley, bringing you more local news, more local weather. Oklahoma's News 4, looking out for you.
Tuesday, the Oklahoma City City Council approved the land donation for the MAPS 4 multi-purpose stadium. The 9 acres located in the area of Shields and Southeast 3rd Street.
But first, the city is coming up with a plan on what to do with the homeless population set up in that area right now. News 4's Tanner De Leon tells us more.
It's always exciting when new projects are being built in downtown Oklahoma City, just like the new MAPS 4 multi-purpose stadium that was approved to be built in this location just south of Bricktown. But one of the major concerns are the homeless people and homeless encampments that have been surviving here for years.
When we have a major disruption, like a construction project, we're going to look at that site and identify those folks for an encampment closure so that we can move them into housing.
A state-of-the-art multi-purpose stadium ready to enhance downtown Oklahoma City.
Well, we're just excited to be at this stage of the project and anxious to get it started, construction, and then even more excited about finishing it.
9 acres with not much around, but one business nearby says it has been paying close attention to what's coming next door.
I think it'll be great to see more active people down here. The concern is the construction, like getting people to battle the traffic and stuff to still come down and climb.
Something Todd says shouldn't be an issue.
I don't think that will affect any currently open roads because we're so far back in that piece of property and there's plenty of room for staging and lay down, as we say. So I don't see any real disruptions other than a little more traffic.
But there is a dilemma. Homeless people and encampments have been set up in the area for years. Jamie Chavez with the Key to Home Partnership says they have a program ready to help.
It's called the Encampment Rehousing Initiative. We go out into camps, offer outreach and supportive services to folks, and then we engage.
Once they start the process, she says it takes 4 to 6 weeks to get them housed.
We've closed over 20 locations in the past year. We've housed more than 300 people through the Encampment Rehousing Initiative.
With construction not expected to begin until the middle of 2025, Chavez says they should have enough time and space to get everyone moved.
We should have the capacity in the system based on the numbers that we have.
In downtown Oklahoma City, Tanner De Leon, Oklahoma's News 4.
It's good to have advocates for the homeless like that. David Todd with the MAPS program, who you heard from, says they are finishing up the design plans, should send them out for bids early next year.
Now, forewarned weather with Mike Morgan.
A cold, frosty night ahead. Winds have now gone light northerly to near calm. We're going to have some freezing temperatures in the morning. We'll check it out. Let's take a look at our view from our sunset from Rose State College. Awfully pretty, and what a gorgeous fall day we enjoyed today with a north breeze out there that wasn't too strong, and temperatures were pleasantly cool. Right now we're 45 degrees at Will Rogers with a light north wind. A 29 dew point, that's about where the coldest low temperatures could be tomorrow morning, and we're getting there pretty quickly. already, 36 in El Reno, and Chickasha is 37 with Kingfisher and Okarche. Guthrie is 43 right now, 38 in Stillwater. Ponca has 35 and Enid 39 right now. Some zeros on the map, so the winds are now calm in a pretty good part of the state, and skies are clear. A lot of sunshine coming up tomorrow. There will be just a little high cloud cover coming in, thin high cloud cover, but a lot of sunshine for your Friday and light winds all day long. Now, I got to show you this. This is a satellite movie over 3.5 days. It starts when we had that line of storms coming through at 7 a.m. Monday morning. Look at this right here. Watch this tremendous storm spin up. There are blizzard conditions in the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. The core of it never actually came on shore. It lifted due northward. It was that bomb cyclone that you might have heard Lester Holt talking about on NBC Nightly News. Look at it right there. Lifted to the north-northwest and then traveled to the west. Now it's traveling to the southwest as the next system in the jet stream develops to its south and rotates around it. Really amazing. That's one of the more amazing satellite images, a movie over 3.5 days, you'll really ever see in terms of mid-latitude cyclones, is what that's called. It's a wave train, is what it's called as well. It gives you an idea how complicated the atmosphere is and how the computer models really struggle with the jet stream details after about 5 to 7 to 8 days down the road. Kind of goes to generalities around that 10-day period, especially in the cooler season months. So it will be a cold night for sure tonight. A lot of frost around, 30 for a low, and we'll have light winds all day long tomorrow. Not a breath of wind really here in the metro, and just a light south wind in the afternoon in western Oklahoma. Branson will be a chilly 49 after a freezing start. Dallas sunny, light winds in 64, and sunny to mostly sunny, a little thin cloud cover, but a lot of sunshine and 59 here in the metro. So a beautiful Friday, and the winds stay light for your Friday night as well. 30 for a low tonight, and the coldest temperatures will be in north central and northeastern Oklahoma. Even a few patchy areas of frost tomorrow night. That's Saturday morning. So we're going to start at 27 to 32 for low temperatures for tonight in the metro. So heavy frost out there, some freezing temperatures, upper 20s in the northern part of our state, and 59 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Just high thin cirrus cloud cover for a beautiful fall day, and metro highs from 57 to 60 degrees for tomorrow, and statewide from the upper 40s around Grand Lake to about 62 in Altus. Cowboy football, the breeze is going to be cool. It'll be a cool breeze, so keep that in mind. Won't feel quite as warm as these temperatures, but 65 degrees there for kickoff. And for the Sooners, same thing, 66 tailgate, and then 59 for kickoff and 56 by the fourth quarter. And again, a cool breeze, otherwise nice. And high temperatures Saturday will be in the mid to upper 60s and low 60s to upper 60s statewide. And for Sunday, a southwesterly breeze kicks in and low 70s on Sunday. 30 to 59 for tomorrow. Great day. Breezy and 37 Saturday morning. That'll be a chilly wind, 67 for a high, 52 to 72 Sunday. Colder Monday and Tuesday, 40s for highs and near freezing for lows again. Watch that space right around Thanksgiving. There's Arctic air nearby, and a jet stream storm breaks through from the Pacific, especially Friday into Saturday. A big nosedive in the temperature, and there may be some mixed precipitation out there on that 7-day +4 this evening.
Thank you. Up next, our state's Bedlam men's basketball teams were both in action today.
So how'd they do? Well, Brian will show us the Cowboys in their first away game, and the Sooners were closing out a homestand this evening in Norman. Next.
Now, sports with Brian Brinkley.
Oklahoma's men's basketball team will start facing much tougher competition very soon, but tonight they were heavy favorites once again in the finale of their season-opening 4-game homestand as they hosted East Texas A&M. Freshman Jeremiah Fears made his first start tonight for the Sooners. It was a very impressive first half. Watch the slicing moves, and he hits the little runner here. He had a game-high 20 points. Sooners led by just 5 at halftime, and then they took over in the second half. Glenn Taylor Jr., a transfer, helped spark an 18-2 run, got the three-pointer here. He had 16 points off the bench. And then late in the second half, Duke Miles got the dunk to put the exclamation point on it. He had 19. Sooners won at 84-56. They will have the battle for Atlantis next week, starting with Providence. Oklahoma State in Charleston to take on Florida Atlantic today. Steve Lutz's OSU men took a 3-0 record into this game. Cowboys led by 10 in the first half. Khalil Brantley with a nice drive and finish. He led OSU with 16 points, but FAU went on an 11-1 run to take the lead late. Kiki Tandy with the 3. He had a game-high 21 points. This game had 56 combined fouls and 81 free throws. 3 OSU players fouled out, and FAU won at 86-78. Cowboys play Miami tomorrow at 1 in Charleston. The 9th-ranked OU women's basketball team will play the first of 3 games in Las Vegas when they visit UNLV tomorrow at 8:30. The Rebels beat the Sooners last year in Norman. Atlanta Braves pitcher Chris Sale was named the winner of the Warren Spahn Award today as baseball's top left-handed pitcher. Sale led the National League in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. He was just named the NL Cy Young Award winner yesterday. The Spahn Award is presented by the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. This school year, KFOR is once again recognizing outstanding scholar athletes. Tonight, we're teaming up with Homeland to honor Brianna Jones of Douglas High School. Brianna runs track and plays basketball for the Trojans. She's had to overcome not 1 but 2 torn ACLs to continue to compete. She goes with her team to pass out food to the homeless each month. Excuse me. If you'd like to nominate a high school student for Athlete of the Week, go to KFOR.com/athlete. And ESPN is reporting there will be a new format for the NBA All-Star Game. It's done, Stars event with 3 teams of 8 players each, plus the 4th team will be the winner of the Rising Stars game. They'll play 2 semifinal games to 40, and the semifinal winners will meet in the final to 25. The All-Star Game is February 16th in San Francisco. Back with more after this.
Welcome back. Well, with the holiday season fast approaching, it's that time of year you can tell your relatives who've never been to Oklahoma our weather's always perfect. So here's moisture through late Wednesday of next week. Not a problem, right? This is through late Wednesday of next week. Then, beginning Thanksgiving into Friday and Saturday, watch that space. There's Arctic air very close by, and storm systems this time of year have a way of coming through a little bit stronger than anticipated. I think we know something about that earlier this month for sure. Yeah. In the meantime, a perfect day coming up tomorrow after a frosty start, light winds and sunshine. 59. That breeze will be cool for football Saturday, 67 for a high, but notice climbing out of the 30s in the morning, and then 72 on Sunday. And next week, a lot more fall and some winter out there. And again, we'll track Thanksgiving and beyond very carefully.
I know you will. Thank you, Brink. Are you okay?
You got some water.
I'll make it.
He's fighting a head cold.
That's brutal on live TV.
The show's over. You're going to be fine. Thanks for joining us.